pretty quickly. It's like, dude, your chest is like sitting different. Like the rewards, the benefits that I got from your workouts were just like so much better.
Yourself that this investment
Yeah, it was worth it,
is
100%.
6 months ago, my client Will was 190 pounds, training alone and questioning everything. Today, he's 210 pounds, built 20 pounds of muscle, and has revitalized his relationship with training. Here's what changed. Take me back to when we started working together, dude. What was your life like? How were you feeling emotionally? Where were you at?
I had taken 2 or 3 months off of baseball for the first time since I was however old, very young. So I was like I was in a good spot, but I missed it, was ready to get back to it. I had come out of college in maybe May, early June, and felt a little bit heavy. I was doing my own lifts, and I started doing like intermittent fasting, and I did that for about a month and a half. And I dropped down to like 190 pounds. I dropped like 20 pounds, and it was feeling good, but I was like, dude, I'm still not cut. Like I almost felt like just skinnier, which is kind of weird because I just figured out, oh, if I like do some poundage, then it'll be cut. Then, I was just like thinking about wanting to pursue baseball at a higher level. I kept seeing your Instagram posts and kept seeing like actual results. And I saw you working with Sing, and I knew you had done the OPP out in Arizona. So I knew you weren't just doing it for non-athletes, but you had an athletic background too. It was the first thing we talked about, but it was just like not having to guess. You know what I mean? I considered myself to have a pretty good idea of what I should be doing in the weight room. Like a pretty good idea of what I should be eating, but having a strict schedule, having something that I didn't have to think about it. It made it easier to go every day. It made it easier to eat what I was supposed to eat. And then like the results like showed up pretty immediately. And like I remember my parents like being like within a couple of weeks being like, yeah, you look a little bit different. And then it was like, dude, you look different. And then it was like, what are you doing? Right. Cool. But yeah, beforehand it was just like, hey, if I want to do this and try and be the best version of myself in baseball, but also just generally, like I don't have all the knowledge of it, and I have a resource that does have a lot more knowledge, and then the accountability part too, right? Where having someone that I'm reporting to, someone that can help, give me a little kick in the butt if I need it, but also just like keep me on track and something where I didn't have to worry about it, right? Like I tried to give myself as many things over these last 5 months that, okay, if I can delegate and pass this off, then I don't have to worry about it. As long as I'm sticking to it, I know I'm doing the right things. And that way, like when this time comes around, it's not like, was I doing this right? It was like, no, I did what I did. I know that I was on the right track, and here I am. I can trust that.
That's what it's all about, bro. There's nothing that makes me happier than hearing that, man. Like that, that's some real shit, bro. That's awesome. I'm so glad we were able to like get that for you and get you to that point. Where were you struggling before we started working with each other? What points of emphasis were you having a hard time?
Like I have a vision of myself that I think it always was actually going on, right? But I think like I was gonna be in the gym. I was going to be eating healthy, but was I gonna be consistent all the time? Was I gonna have one cheat meal a week, or was I gonna have one cheat meal a day? You know what I mean? And then like just like putting together a workout, I feel like right now I would be able to put together a workout for myself that's so much better than the one I would have put together before, where it was just kind of generally like, hey, I know I should be hitting these things throughout the week, but the accessories, like how do I know which accessories to pair with
exactly
each compound lift? How do I know when to be doing my mobility? For example, having me settling into the schedule of, okay, do your warm up, do your throwing, do your hitting, then go into your lift, right? Like just having some guidance on how to go about my day made it so much better. And then like, dude, going outside to a field and doing sprints and doing jumps, like those are easy to skip, especially in Seattle when it's raining, you know what I mean? But if it's programmed, like you feel like you kind of got to do it, you know what I mean?
Dude, absolutely, bro. And it's
so
cool to see you learn how to do the shit
yeah.
on your own, and really now and you have an understanding of what to do beyond this. And that's what this is all about. What stopped you from trying to fix almost like the uncertainty before on your own?
There's so much stuff on social media right now, and there's so many different takes you could look up, whether it's baseball specific or not. Like there's so many people that are like, this is my way, this is how you should be doing it, right? And I was just like, how am I supposed to know which one's correct, right? And I haven't done any of the research, right? Like all I had to go off of was what previous coaches had talked to me about, what I'd done in college, and then like what I saw on the internet that made sense in my mind. but I was like, I have no real, context behind these decisions that I'm making. And I could see it, like, it wasn't like the intensity of the workouts didn't change. In fact, like sometimes the intensity of your workouts were probably less than the ones I was making myself go through. But like the rewards, the benefits that I got from your workouts were just like so much better than the ones I had. You know what I mean? Like I've been in the gym consistently for 5, 6, 7 years at this point.
Right.
But in the last 3 months, I saw more progress than I did over that whole time, which was weird. It was like I didn't really think that was going to happen.
That's amazing, bro. That is what it's all about, and I was able to see it. And you did the work. Like I can give you the blueprint, I can give you the game plan, but like at the end of the day, you still have to show up and do this shit every day. And when you had something in front of you mapped out, you executed, and it was that much easier to execute because all you had to do was go do it. They're not the hardest thing to do is knowing what to do. But if you know what to do, and all it takes is just executing XYZ, you're gonna do it, and you're gonna get to where you want to be, bro. So.
Well, and then here's one more thing that I have on like that same note is that like I desperately missed being in the weight room with all my teammates. Like that part was one of my favorite parts of being in a college baseball team. And like obviously you and I were teammates at one point, but like having, it felt like I wasn't quite doing it on my own. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't just, hey, I'm going in here to do my lift. Like, it felt like we were a little bit on a team again. You know what I mean? And me working towards a goal. And so like that part felt good. And like the team aspect of it for me was always like, I'm not going to let my work, like I'm not going to not work hard for this dude next to me that's working hard. Exactly. Right. And so like having you as like, I know this guy Max is putting in work for me and vice versa. You know what I mean? Like you weren't going to slack on me because you knew that I was going to be in there all the time. I assume it's much harder with the guy. You're like, hey, I don't even know if you're going to be in there. I'm just programming your stuff. Like, let's hope you're in there. Anyway.
Dude, I mean, that's a huge point because my goodness, when you leave school and you leave that environment, bro, it is hard to adjust. It's a hard transition. It's hard to just go to work and go to the gym on your own. When you're in an environment where everyone's screaming and you're with your boys and everyone's holding you to like a standard, when you don't have that anymore, it's like, what do you do? And that's how you see, and that's why you see so many people fall off from 23 to 26, is they're just like, I don't know what to do anymore because it's not the same. So obviously, dude, it was awesome being able to like be there with my boy. You're helping me out, I'm helping you out. And it really did ignite that feeling again. So that was just awesome to see, man. What was the breaking point for you, Will, where you're like, damn, like I need to do something about this now. I need to figure out how I'm going to put together a plan so I can be ready for my tryout in January now.
You're good. Go ahead. Yeah. I would just say that like, it was like, if I'm going to do this, I got to do it. I got to go for it. Yeah. Right. You know what I mean? And that was like as I said, like I was going to be lifting. I was going to be eating relatively healthy, but like if I wanted to do it, then I had to go for it. I had to go all in. I remember like the day after we talked and I sent over the first payment, called my pops and I was like, hey, like I just made kind of an investment. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, I kind of just like made an investment in myself. And I explained it to him and he was like, that's you're going to be losing, spending money, but like I get why you wanted to do it.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I mean, that is,
yeah.
It's not a comfortable feeling, but just like you said, that's what it is, an investment in yourself. It's not like you're buying something from the store. You're putting it back into you. And correct me if I'm wrong, but because you are investing, it makes you want to do it that much more, right?
Yeah.
If I said, well, here's the shit for free, take it, you probably wouldn't be as diligent as you were. And you probably
100%.
wouldn't get the outcome you got, right? So it's almost like making that investment makes you stay on your shit. And it's a huge component a lot of people overlook, bro. So it was awesome to see you grow in that capacity and just kind of evolve into someone who's okay with that, and like, damn, I'm doing this for me. I have a bigger goal at the end of the day, and this is what it is going to take to get there. So that's amazing, bro. What was the first week like for you? What surprised you the most, when you first got into the program, you first started making moves and doing
carbs, like trying to get in all my carbs. Like I could get in the protein, you know what I mean? The protein was fine, but carbs, bro, like figuring out, like understanding what were carb sources. Like I think I remember having a call with you. I was like, dude, I didn't realize bananas like had that many carbs in them. So that was the hardest. Like in that first week, that was the hardest part, was like how do I get all this? Like, how do I plan for this? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, how do I make sure that I get up and then eat, and so that I can eat the next time, so I'm not full.
yeah,
Uh,
that makes a lot of sense, man. And you know, the carbs, especially with you, we're trying to build muscle. Like that's what
yeah,
it all comes down to is
yeah,
making sure our macros are dialed in. And we did kind of struggle with that for a little bit, but you
yeah,
eventually figured it out, bro. And it took
yeah.
off. You know, like that kind of bleeds into my next question. When did things finally start to click for you? Because dude, there was a period. I mean, you were gaining a pound every single week,
Yeah.
in like 2 months. You know, when did it finally start to click?
When you start just, I mean, I just settled in. Like, it became routine. You know what I mean? Which, like, people at my work would be like they knew that I was gonna eat yogurt every single day, and they'd be making fun of me for it,
Well,
and they'd be like, "Dude, like that's commitment." But and by the end, man, I was like, "Man, I hate this. Like, I absolutely hate this."
yeah,
And it was like, it's not like it's bad. Like, I put a bunch of honey in there, put some like good granola in there. Like, it tastes pretty good, but it was just like monotonous. You know what I mean? It's the same thing over and over again. Truly, at that point, it was like, oh, like this is what you got to do, and it was easy. And like, I could have switched it up. It's not like I didn't have other options, but it just got easier. And then like at this point, like I haven't tracked in maybe 2 weeks, but I know exactly what I'm doing, and like
exactly.
it's very easy for me in my head to like there, yep, good, right.
Yeah,
Make sure I hit all my stuff, like, and just count it all up. So that's nice.
dude, absolutely. And that's the end goal. It's not to be able to track macros their whole life, right? It's
Yeah,
to have an understanding of what you need to eat every day to get you to where you want to be. And you found that, man. You know, what was different about maybe my approach compared to what you've done on your own before or what you've tried before in terms of training?
20 the 80/20 rule, right? Like, that's the biggest difference, right? Is like, when you attack something like this, you have that motivation. You're like, I'm gonna go at this full force, and then and it's good. You're perfect, and you feel great about yourself for a couple weeks, and then like, man, I want some ice cream right now, and then you're like, I've been good, so you give yourself that ice cream, but then it's like, fuck, I just threw. Oh, I don't know. It's just like I threw everything off, right? And then it's hard to get back on it, right? It's hard to get back on the horse. But since you allowed that, like, and not allowed, but like, since you were like, dude, live your life. You're 22 years old. It's fine. Have some ice cream at the end of the week, or go have a beer. Like, it's fine. We just have to make sure that you do that, and then you're back to it, right?
Exactly, man.
So that was
It's
sweet.
it's about sustaining, right? It's
Yeah,
about making it sustainable, not restrictive.
yeah,
That 80/20 it's a simple rule, but it's huge. It's what it all comes down
yeah,
to. Yeah, I want you to like live your life, dude. I don't want
yeah,
you to feel like you can't do anything because it's not going to be enjoyable. And at the
yeah,
end of the day, like what's the point if it's not?
yeah, yeah,
So you executed that, beautifully. You
yeah,
did that just like we needed you to, and that's why you got to the point where you got. So that was awesome to see, man. Let's get into some numbers here, bro. We were able to put on with you in the course of 6 months. I'm not even kidding you, 20 pounds of muscle. We
yeah,
got up to like around 205, and then we cut
yeah,
it back to where you're at now, 198, 199. That's amazing. Brady does that. 20 pounds of muscle in 6 weeks. It's like fucking in 6 months is
yeah.
unreal, bro. What? How long did it take you to actually start seeing those tangible results? I know you mentioned people were making comments.
Yeah. Well, like, there's that like general rule, right? It's like 4 weeks for you to notice, like 5 weeks for your close people to notice, and 6 weeks for like other people outside of it to notice. But my dad noticed pretty quickly. It's like, dude, your chest is like sitting different. Like, and like, I want to stress the fact too that like I was in good shape. Like, I was big and strong, and like had definition and all that type of stuff beforehand. But like I just got back to school, and like the first thing guys are coming up to me and saying are like, dude, like, your arms are bigger, right? Like, which was sick, which is it just feels good, you know what I mean? People that like from high school that I hadn't seen in years are just like, dude, like, you're buff. And I was just
That's
like,
fucking
it's
awesome.
just funny. Yeah.
That's awesome,
Um,
man.
yeah,
Oh, that's what it's all about, bro. And
yeah.
in terms of how you feel, like explosion, strength, speed, what changed for you over that time period?
Well, I liked all the jumping stuff a whole lot, like, and I felt like I got better at that as time went on. And then like I was at a point where I was like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get that much stronger. Like, again, like, I'd been lifting and doing all the stuff at Redlands. So we had done, max lifts, gotten pretty high on all these numbers. And I think now I'd be higher.
Yeah.
And like,
Absolutely would.
yeah, exactly. Like I had never hit, like, I got like the 120s on dumbbell bench for like 5 or 6, which I was like, I didn't think I was gonna have that in the tank.
Awesome.
So anyway, yeah, there was in like, again, I'm like, to stress that I was already strong. Like I was one of the stronger guys on the team, and I was just like, you've been doing this for 4 years. People talk about that plateau. Like I was like, I think I kind of hit it, man. Like I'm gonna maintain, yada yada yada. And then I was like, wait, like I'm actually seeing growth again for the first time in a while. You know, since like my sophomore and junior year of school. And that was just because like my sophomore year of school, I took the eating really seriously that summer, and everything went up. And then I was like, all right, I'm good. Like I'm just gonna lift, and like the eating's, man, I'm already there, right? And then you start taking the eating seriously again, and everything starts to go up again. And it just shows you like that's where you really make your money, is in the kitchen, which stinks.
Absolutely, absolutely, bro. And how long did it take you to really, see those results and start to notice and feel like, fuck, I'm like stronger than I have been in, years?
Probably because I was light. Like I noticed results probably 5 weeks in. Like I could see it. It's easiest to see in the back, I think, for me at least. Like that's where I could see it the most. And then when we did the cut, like I was like, oh, like within a week, I was like, wow, like this cut is working. You know what I mean? Like I could kind of see it coming off, and I was like, this is pretty sweet.
Dude, that is fucking sweet, and you could definitely see it in the progress photos. I remember
Yeah.
every week looking like, dude, my guy Will is like looking like a fucking animal here, dude. So that's awesome, man. Ultimately, we did this all for a trial, bro, to prepare you for success at a pro level, and being able to trust yourself, play with freedom, and know you didn't leave a stone unturned. You're like, how has your life changed beyond maybe the metrics or the numbers in the weight room?
I mean, just like consistency helps with everything. You know what I mean? And like it's easy to fall out of the gym and like take 3 days off, 4 days off, and you don't realize in that moment like what it does to your mental. Like when I had to take a week, there's a reason I keep texting you these last couple of days. Like, dude, it feels so good to lift again.
Yeah.
Because like for like a week and a half, I wasn't really able to lift, and I didn't realize, but like it was doing something to my mental where I just didn't feel as good about myself, and I wasn't as motivated to go like do other things. Like I started reading again for the first, that sort of thing. Exactly. And it's just because you start being more consistent as a couple of things. You got to do hard things, and then other hard things become easier, and then it's not as hard as it is. That's what feels like it is at the beginning.
Dude, and that directly translates into the game.
Exactly.
One thing is how you do everything, bro. So I love to hear that, man. That's the most fulfilling thing.
Yeah.
Like what would you say your situation would be like right now if you maybe didn't take that step months ago and decided to do something like this?
Well, it definitely wouldn't look as good. Yeah, I mean, honestly though, like my arms wouldn't be as big as they are, my chest wouldn't be. Just because I mean, like I would be in good shape, but it just wouldn't have been like optimal. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like everyone uses that word now, but it's true. Like it just wouldn't have been optimal. And then along with that, it would just been like there's always questions that go through your head, like did I do enough? And it's just, again, it's like another thing I can check the box off and be like, I did this right. Absolutely. You know what I mean?
And hopefully that enables you to go out on the field, bro, in 2 weeks and just ball out.
Have fun.
Everything you could.
Yeah.
If you could go back in time, would you tell yourself that this investment was
yeah, it was worth it. 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone who's maybe in the same position you were in, but maybe they're on the fence about, should I make an investment in myself? Should I actually?
Yeah. I mean, it's worth it. Like if I were to put it simply, but like one, you're getting a great guy to do it along with you, like someone who's not just doing it just so he can take your money. Actually, if you invest in him, he's going to actually be concerned with your progress and your growth, and like not just even the physical part, but your whole life thing. Like I bet you've made buddies from this, or people that you're like now closer with. I mean, and so like that's a pretty cool thing, because to a lot of people it is just a client list. I mean, and then two, like I would be in a public gym, and like trainers would be coming up to me being like, I've never seen that, or were like, oh, that's really good, like yada yada yada, just saying like approving what you had me doing, right? Which, like validation of any kind is like, it does make you feel good, and it's like, okay, I am doing the right things. So let me think if there's anything. I mean, the weekly calls, bro, like that's a key part of what you're doing, and the fact that you keep trying to get better. Like, you had those surveys, and at one point you asked me, you're like, hey, what are some things that you think I could do better, that you think it would make it easier for you? And I came back with a couple ideas, and you were like, yeah, that's a good idea, like I should do that. And then put your own spin on it, you know what I mean? Being willing to adapt, hiring in a personal trainer to make sure that you're doing the right things, you're actually committed to the craft. You want someone that's passionate. Like, you go into the gym, sometimes you see those personal trainers with whoever it is, and you're just like, yeah, they're just checking a box. I mean, they're just getting through the day. But it didn't feel like that with you.
Dude, that's amazing, bro. I really appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
You were a hell of a client, bro. Obviously you're my boy, but it was so cool just being able to work with you one-on-one and actually watch you grow and evolve. You're just like a little brother, dude, sometimes.
Yeah.
It's been so cool to just like watch you just build yourself into who you are right now, dude. Because there's no doubt in my mind, you're gonna go out, you're gonna go play with freedom, and when you play with freedom, there's nobody who can fuck with you, bro. And that's what it's all about. That's why we did what we did, and that's why you're in the position you're in right now, dude. So I just want to say, I'm so fucking proud of you, bro. Like,
I appreciate it, man.
I remember getting on the phone with you, dude, I see what you're doing, but like, I don't know if I want to. And you said, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. And
yeah. Well, I thought I had it, man. I thought I had it. Like, I was like, nah, I'll be fine. Like, I could do this myself. You know what I mean?
And it just goes to it shows the importance of, like, everybody delegates, bro. Everyone, I don't care if you're in business, sports, I don't give a fuck what stage of life you're in. Everyone delegates to somebody who maybe it's just more concentrated. And it's the only way you can get through shit, bro, is with help and support, and it goes for everything and everyone. So it's just so awesome to see you grow. Dude, you're the fucking man.
I appreciate it.